Hi, this is Roger Conrad. I'm Senior Strategist of the Portfolio 2020. And those of you who are readers know we cover a very wide range of areas. We have quite a few editors sharing with us their expertise. And we put it all together into the portfolio. We're still staffing this thing out. Just to review the main goals, what we're trying to do here is pick up companies that are wired into transcendent trends that basically remain in effect regardless of what's going on with the economy and the markets. And we've had pretty good fortune with those. Some of these things we've had out there have done pretty well if you peruse the companies in the portfolio. Some areas we're trying to focus on now, we're looking a lot harder at materials. And in fact, we've had a couple of recent articles in there pinned by Yannis Mostros. And if you look at the materials part of the portfolio, you'll see we have several selections in there, some of which have done very well, others we're waiting for it to come through. The main theme of this, the materials part, is that basically as developing nations urbanize, they use more and more of things like copper and zinc and iron ore, which is the essential element behind steel, or alumina. These are basic materials. They're found in a shrinking number of places, actually, and that's another theme of these things is resource nationalism, and the fact that companies have to go further and deeper and to more expensive places to get at these various resources in the ground. But it does make for some intense consolidation in this industry as well. So you have a small number of players, and that gives them enormous amounts of power when market conditions are in their favor. We saw this in effect in the middle of the last decade. Basically, the opposite came into effect in 2008 as the economies of the world started to shrink, and particularly China really curtailed its usage. So we saw big price decreases. But now we're starting to see things cycle out the other way. So companies like potash, which produce the essential ingredients of fertilizer, which is found in abundance in such rich deposits in only a small number of places, and they happen to own one of the most prolific, an area in Canada. So its market value, its market negotiating power in this fertilizer market has been rising, and I think will continue to rise. Now we're nowhere close right now to the levels of demand for these things, the level of economic growth that we were even in the early part of 2008. So it means there's a tremendous amount of upside, and you see it in the prices of these stocks as well. They're trading at fractions of where they were just a couple of years ago. So that's a lot of upside. We think they'll eventually go to new highs. And I think, if you're just coming to the Portfolio 2020 portfolio, take a look at what Yannis has to say and try adding a couple of these to your portfolio. So that's all I have to say today. I'll be chatting with you in the near future. In the meantime, good investing.